This is the only mouse you need. Imagine being able to copy any other mouse shape into your mouse. Side buttons, back hump, even the sides are removable as you can see here. And there's plenty of options to choose from these ergonomic ones as you can see. And the build quality is solid here. Everything is on point and the mouse comes with the latest specs out there. So a big shout out to the Orbital team for sending this one for review. All my thoughts and opinions as always are going to be my personal, and let's move on to the unboxing. The attention to detail here is amazing. This is the color of my unit. So let's check out the mouse modular parts first. Here we get a assembly guide. And to be honest with you guys, I did not even read this assembly guide. Orbital had made sure to simplify everything. Even if you're a noob and you get this for the first time, you will figure out how to assemble and play around with these parts without looking at any guide. However, on the back of this part, we have the organized names and places for each part, just to make sure for the user to put each one in its specific place to keep everything organized. And now let's move on to the mouse unboxing. I really love the Orbital design of this mouse. This is actually the best unboxing on a gaming mouse I've actually ever tried. First we get this little box here where we find PTFE skates, and this mouse actually comes with 3 variety of skates: speed, control, and average ones, and they all come with a collaboration with X-Ray Pad as you can see, and this is one of the best companies that actually makes skates, and also 4 extra alcohol wiping pads. In the next box here I'm assuming there's only a USB Type-C cable. I actually really like this cable because first of all it's elevated here in case you want to use your mouse while charging it, and the second thing is the cable is not stiff. It's actually very useful if you want to use it, as I said, as wired. Let's move on to the next thing, which is the 8K polling rate dongle. And again, a really nice design. It has an LED here and a rubbery bottom. And finally, we get the Orbital Pathfinder, just as bare bone without any parts attached to it. And as you can already see, I have applied the Speed PTFE skates with some extra X-Ray Pad medium speed ones, as you can see here at the bottom, to kind of support the bottom from scratching against my soft mouse pads. And this is a shot of the original look of the Pathfinder outside of the box. It comes with only 4 dot skates, giving you the choice to choose whichever ones are comfortable for you. Alright, let's first of all talk about the build quality. Even if we squeeze anywhere or like force on the shell, there's no like flexing. There's a little bit of creaking if you actually like press too hard, but the build quality here is actually solid. I don't think you're gonna have any issues with the build quality here. This thing for its price is actually rock solid. Let's check out the weight balancing here. The battery is actually a little bit forwarded, but keeping in mind that we're gonna put a back hump here, it's gonna, you know, balance the weight. Let's check the weight of the mouse. It should be around 44, actually 45, but I have skates applied. When I measured it when I first got it, it was 44, I think 44.6, something like that. So checking the length of the mouse is actually quite medium to small, bare bones of course without having any parts on it. The length here is 11.5 centimeters. Comparing that to the ATK duckbill, for example, it's 11.7. It's very similar to the ATK duckbill in terms of the length, and this one is even narrower than the OP18K. This is like very, let's actually measure it. As you can see, this is 4.7 centimeters, very skinny from the sides. I don't think a lot of people would be using this mouse as it is unless they fingertip. For fingertipping, I can see it useful. This part here is going to be making contact with your palm. It's going to be scratchy here, so I don't think this is any possible with claw or palm grip. So yeah, only fingertip. So at the bottom here we have the Pathfinder logo. There's 3 holes at the bottom here. I don't know the reason. Maybe to hold something from the inside of the mouse, maybe to reduce the weight. We have a DPI button and an off and on button. Unfortunately, there's no Bluetooth support, which is okay, but for this price range, it could have been a possibility. Why not? But what I like about the base of the mouse is the fact that it's all flat and smooth surface without having any, you know, other mice have these little holes where skates actually lay down. So at the sides we have 3 holes. These are for the teeth rail to slide inside here, and this one to support the spacers that I'm going to show in a second. The side buttons can be removable actually. And what else did I forget to mention here? This is a magnesium alloy scroll wheel. It's metallic, as you can see, very big, and as you can see here, you can actually see the inside components of the mouse. And this thing here has a spring. That's where the back of the shell hump kind of slides in and gets fixed in place. And finally a Type-C connector, obviously. So yeah, I think we had an overall design idea about the mouse. Now let's talk about the specs of the clicks. So the main clicks have the armor-on opticals. The implementation here is different than other mice. They don't just slap on the top click on the switch. They have a different type of mechanism. I'm just going to take these videos from Melon's channel. He actually went and disassembled the mouse. I don't want to do that. But yeah, as you can see here, this is a very special mechanism that gives this click implementation a solid feeling actually. And as you can see here, there's no wobbly wiggly. There's a little bit, but dude, it is very solid. No pre-travel, a little bit of post-travel, and to be honest, at 9.5 or a 10 out of 10 opticals click implementation, they sound a little bit pingy and they feel really good. You already know, guys, I love Omron opticals. I'll give you a sound test in a second after I talk about these side clicks and scroll wheel. So for the side clicks, it's also using Omron opticals here, which is very impressive, and thank God they don't require much force. They sound really pingy and very satisfying, just like the main clicks. Even the main clicks don't require too much effort. They're really light. These ones are light and very much spammable. The side clicks implementation here is 10 out of 10, but keep in mind that they had issues in their earlier batches and stages of this mouse, like last year, even 4 months ago, they had issues with these side buttons. But if you're thinking about buying the mouse right now, they completely fixed those in their engineer process of this mouse, and they actually put so much effort into making this mouse really perfect with no flaws. I am actually really much impressed, because if I actually make a teardown and open the mouse, you're going to be blown away by how perfect the engineering and time and effort they put into this mouse to make it actually solid like this. Moving on to the scroll wheel now, and this is a magnesium alloy scroll wheel. Mine is black. If you buy the black unit, it's probably going to be gray. This one is a little bit larger than the usual mice scroll wheels, as you can see, and I actually love that because I edit in Fortnite using the middle mouse button, and also the scroll steps, as you can see, are very defined scroll steps. This is a 9 out of 10 scroll implementation. And now let's finally give a sound test of everything, then let's move on to check the package here. So as you heard, very impressive clicks among the mouse, very spammable and really light and just enjoyable clicks. And now let's finally move on, check out this box, what we got here. So basically, if you follow this tutorial here, basically we have 4 types of shells. This one is called low hump, this is medium hump, high hump, and then right hand hump. The right hand hump is ergonomic, as you can see. I don't know if you can see this well here. Oh, there it is. You can see it from the side. It's low on the right side and high on the left side. This gives like a Death Adder vibes, or like the GPX Dex. I'm going to give you my initial impressions on each one really quick because the video is going to be so long. So this one is not useful in my opinion, because when I actually palm it or claw it, it makes me want to tilt the mouse a little bit. It just doesn't really match well. Let's move on to the high hump, which is my favorite. This is the one I've been using since I received the mouse. Trying on the high hump, and let me show you actually how it slides in. So as you can see here, there's a rail mechanism and then a spring that actually holds it in place. And at the bottom of the part, we have some teeth, as you can see here. These teeth actually interfere right here with this spring, and they just get really tight when you slide it with the rail. As you can see, you're gonna hear 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one is the lock-in mechanism. It doesn't go any further. And as you can see, we created a back humped mouse, a little bit similar to the Scyrox V8 or the ATK duckbill. This is my dream back hump. Actually, I've never had so much satisfaction and comfort with this back hump. I do have one issue I'll actually mention later on in the video on the right side, but everything else makes me want to daily run this mouse. Trying on the medium hump. The medium hump is pretty cool actually. It's just like a GPX or Viper V3 Pro type of hump. And let's say if you're more comfortable with the medium hump than the high hump, but you want it to be a little bit, you know, backwards rather than further, like you want it to be like this, for example, but you don't want to also like push it deeper while playing. That's why there's something called these spacers here. So there's spacers for the sides, of course, I'm going to check them later, but now let's talk about these spacers for let's actually check the bigger one. There's only 2 for the back hump. So as I said, if you want your back hump to be a little bit backwards, you just put on the spacer. Where is it? Here it is. You put it in and then you slide the hump, and then it stops here. It only makes 2 ticks, not 4 ticks. So 2 ticks in, and then your mouse is really longer now. Could be more comfortable for a lot of people. And actually, if you're worried about one thing, which I was worried about before I received the mouse, which as you can see here, the back hump is elevated, the clicks are elevated, and the middle here, there's like a empty space. And I was worried that I make palm contact and this hole here, and it makes it really uncomfortable for me. And turns out I don't even make palm contact here, and I don't even reach it. It doesn't feel like it exists in the first place, this space here. So, and that's just a quick reminder I had in mind. So this was the medium hump. Let's actually check the low hump so we can move to the sides of the mouse. The low hump makes this mouse small and looks like the Viper Mini. Actually, this kind of copies the Viper Mini elevation here. It makes the mouse really small, not really my favorite. I can see it to be used for a lot of aggressive claw grippers. So yeah, my favorite one is the high one. All right, the sides of the mouse. First of all, we have the right side and the left side, and then in the middle we have some spacers. So for the right side we have seven parts for the right side and only 4 for the left side, because the left side is usually has only contact with your thumb, and that's pretty much it. So they have this one called latch, claw, pinch, and average. So the latch one is really skinny, where you put your thumb finger here. As you can see, it's really skinny, and the pinch one tends to be a little bit thicker at the back. It's basically different styles here depending on the the user, and my favorite was just like the average one. The average one is just really normal looking side, and to lock it in, it's basically simple. Again, we have a little bit of teeth, as you can see here on these two bottom sides, and this teeth just kind of makes contact with its rail in the middle. Here we have this stabilizer, basically just a holder for the side, and we basically just put it in here and slide it in. As you can see, it goes all the way tight. And what I love about the overall build quality here, they don't actually wiggle or anything. They don't move, they don't wiggle. Maybe the back hump flexes just a little bit, but this is not even noticeable in game. I don't think anyone would be flexing them in game. If you're wondering if these sides kind of move or like slide down or anything by accident, no, they're actually solid, and I actually do struggle taking them off with my nails because I don't have any nails. So keep in mind that they're a little bit harder to take out for people who don't have any nails. And yep, I did manage to successfully remove it. But let's move on to the right side and then talk about these spacers lastly. So the right sides, we have a lot of choices. These 3 ones here are basically some ergonomic custom shapes. As you can see, they have some sides to rest your fingers on. This one is much better because, as you can see here, it's wavy and it's aligned just naturally where your fingers might sit, as you can see here. I really don't like these, but I'm just gonna apply it just so you can see what it looks like. I don't think I can use these. My favorite one is, guess what? Just like the left side, the right side is the average one is my favorite one. The average one is just natural, normal looking, skinny, and just basically just natural, because I use mostly symmetrical mice than ergonomic mice. So I find this one to be just perfect, as you can see. So we have only 2 sets of spacers for each side, one skinny one, one thick one, and this is the width differences between them. So in order to put them on, let's take the right with the right, put on this middle stabilizer and this middle hole, and that's pretty much it. You can slap it into your mouse very easily. You can try all the shapes. I feel like you can try all these parts here in less than an hour. So while it might look complicated in my review, it's really just simple in real life. And keep in mind that some parts do add a little bit of weight actually into the mouse, making it a little bit heavier than what you initially saw at the beginning of the video, 45 grams. It might end up sitting at 55 grams, and this is what it looks like with these spacers in the middle, and the top shell click kind of interferes with my ring finger. So if I put on my ring finger here, it will be touching the top side of the click, and this is my only con about this mouse. Imagine having only one con about the entire build design of the mouse. So basically the clicks are just going over the shell, which is a little bit of annoying. But yeah, this is my end game configuration. I did not change the side buttons because the length of the original ones is just about right. As you can see, they just peek out a little bit, you know, from the side. But let me show you the differences of the lengths of these side buttons. The ones I have in the mouse right now are the smallest ones. If you use the thicker spacer with a thicker side, you might need to use the longest one. And the assembling technique is very simple. You just put it right in, and it doesn't even fall out. And now let's finally move on and talk about the specs and performance of the mouse. So the Orbital Pathfinder comes with the latest sensor, the 3950, supporting a stable 8K polling rate, as you can see here in this test. And the MCU used is the popular Nordic 52840 MCU, very powerful, and the one you find on every flagship mouse recently. The battery of the mouse here is the average battery, 300 milliamps. It could last you up to 2 weeks if you only like game 4 hours a day on 1K polling rates. On 8K polling rates, maybe 2 to 3 days as max. For my experience, it's an average consumption, just a normal battery consumption. There isn't much to talk about it. So while gaming on Valorant, Battlefield, Fortnite, these are the 3 main games, I think this mouse has a really perfect sense of consistency when it comes to the LOD, and basically the sensor contact with the mouse pad is just very consistent. It doesn't really wiggle or like shake while putting down the sensor back on the mouse pad or elevating it. It's very, very consistent, just like the G Pro X Superlight implementation. It's really hard to find such implementation on the Chinese mice, so I just wanted to note that. And for the performance, it's also very consistent. I didn't have any lag or any issues with the sensor. It's just 10 out of 10. At this price range, I don't think you're going to find any flaws with the performance of the mouse. And now let's finally check the software. They have both installed software and web-based, whatever you like. There are some differences between the web-based and the installed one. I actually don't prefer the installed one. It's a little bit mediocre, as you can see here. And for the LOD, only has low and high. I don't know what that specifically means. But for the web-based software, we have low, medium, and high LOD. We have also the angle adjustments. We have esports mode on and off. And I just play on esports mode on, but overclocking gaming mode, no. This kind of drains the battery a lot. And it's basically the 20K scan rate, I'm assuming. So I don't think it makes any difference. Just use the esports mode. For the debounce time, adjustable all the way down to 0 milliseconds. Just put it on 0 milliseconds to have the lowest response time. Here we have a factory reset, blah, blah, blah. 8K polling rate, 1600 DPI. And we have a light section here. Just realized the light section for the dongle. I lowered the brightness just a little bit. Yeah, 10 out of 10 software. And also if you want to install it, here's the other version. Anywho's, conclusion of the review. The Orbital Pathfinder, is it worth it? I would say if you haven't really spent too much money on gaming mice, as you can see, you should actually buy this as soon as possible before you get hooked in this mouse rabbit hole. And if you just want to do a one and done purchase, this could be your only purchase you need. My only con, again, with the mouse, and it's subjective and personal, by the way. This side here, top shell of the clicks, kind of does interfere with my ring finger, but that's also depending on your grip style. Imagine if I tell you that was the only con of this mouse. I'm being really serious here. But the price though, it's $189. It is not cheap. But now that I got this mouse and saw how much effort and engineering was put inside the shell, and the community is amazing. If you go on their Discord server, they will chat with you and exchange configurations with people. This thing is kind of open source. You can actually go on the server and 3D print different back humps and different parts of the mouse that don't even exist in this box. Imagine how cool is that? So you're not just buying the parts on this Explore box here. You will have access to other people's 3D printing projects. So I really appreciate the Orbital team for sending me the Pathfinder for review. If you guys also want to support my channel, you can either like the video very simply or purchase the Pathfinder through my link in the description below. You might get the discount. I will email them to make a discount code for me and my followers. Again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.